So for those watching, this is Fundy from Fundy Software, and we are creating a series of live streams with our top Fundy Storyteller producers. So we got Seth here, Seth and Beth Photography. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Andrew, my dear friend. I love you.
Love you too. How you doing?
We're doing great here in Ohio. Ohio's taking the reins, I guess, stepping in front of this virus and closing down a lot of stuff. Yep. So the kids are home. We're loving our time together playing board games, and we watch Naked and Afraid together as a family. I don't know, have you watched it?
Do you watch it fully clothed, I hope?
We do. But we take exercise breaks during the commercials. But we watch Naked and Afraid as a family of four. The kids love it, and yeah, I'm not much of an outdoorsman. I wouldn't go out back. I wouldn't even go out back in camp. But that's what we do. We're focusing on our business, trying to get through this. Andrew, I host a business podcast too, so this has been on top of my mind with the economic stuff and everything. It's quite a crazy time. So
yeah, and I think so. My goal is to create a bubble of positivity for everybody. But that is not to say this is roses and rainbows, right? Everybody is going to get hit with their income across the board. Doesn't matter how big or how small you are, but the goal is to do the best we can as individuals and as a community to make it through this. And so that's why we're doing this, and hopefully we can spark some ideas for people, whether they're in Ohio, Oregon, California, UK. We've got customers in Africa, Malaysia, Asia, everywhere, right? So
amazing.
This is, so just to be upfront, guys, it's tough. It's going to be hard, but the more we work together, the better things are going to be.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew. I mentor folks, and I tell them, now is actually the time. The past 10 years has been great economy. The raising waters has brought up all ships, but now that it lowers, it's going to be time where you're going to need to refocus on your business, how you sell, and really take care of the customers you have, because some of those photographers that you've been complaining about for the past 10 years who've been undercutting you, they may very well go away. So actually, we're trying to use this time to focus on ourselves, build our business, and come out even stronger on the end. So yeah, I'm glad you're doing this. A lot of other businesses are going live, and I'm happy to be a part of it. This is great. I'd love to talk.
Thanks so much. So let's just focus on 2 or 3 key things that you are trying to do now, or recommending that people do now, and kind of the steps and process of making that happen for people.
Sure. So, Beth and I have made a decision years ago that we don't take as many weddings. We try and focus on our clients a little bit more. So the investment that we make is we make it in our clients. So now is a really great time for, I think, people out there who might be struggling, is to, as Jason Marino said yesterday, is maybe to reinvest in some of your old clients. I laugh with people that it seems like we get like a couple photo sessions in our lifetime, an engagement, a wedding. Mm-hmm. If you have a baby, you get a session, and next thing you know, those babies become seniors. That's the next time we see them. So, I've reached out, and I plan to reach out more to just past clients, let them know that we're thinking about them. I think for other photographers who might have it tougher is, your very next session could become a better session in terms of IPS if you just offer them something now. Be a little open. I always tell people, your next session can really change your business. The first thing I tell young photographers is go ahead and offer them that album. Go ahead and offer them that album that they never got, and present it to them afterwards. As we all know, the beautiful Fundy software, which is extremely pivotal to our business, and it allows you to build. You can get on there on Fundy with a free trial, build yourself an album, and wait till your clients buy an upgrade before you even have to buy Fundy and export the album. So that's a huge thing, is I think you can offer, whether it's a $300 credit, a $500 credit, you can jump on your very next client and say, I'm building you an album. Congratulations. Times are tough. And we all know, depending on where you get your albums, it might cost you something. But for us, album building has been the most.
And let's make a point of that. We are actually putting together a blog post right now. Probably will go live tomorrow morning with all of the discounts that all of the labs and album companies are offering. We reached out to over 100 different labs and album companies and asked them, and people are stepping up. So what's my reason to reach out to people, where there's your reason. You'd be like, hey, I know these are difficult times, but my album company is offering 20% off. So I'm going to pass that savings off to you. Let's set up this appointment. That wedding album you've never got, this is the perfect time. You're at home. Let's hop on a Zoom like we're doing now. And your album is 20% off.
Yeah. And this doesn't have to extend just to weddings. I mean, family sessions, I think
art.
Yeah, wall art. I mean, now, especially with like wall art, a lot of these weddings people a lot of your wedding clients might be settling into their new home, and they might not be dying to spend money. But if you give them some sort of incentive, say, look, here's a $500 gift certificate toward wall art. I might very well be able to drum up some business. So you're absolutely right. And I can't stress enough. Like for us, this is a time. Beth and I have had like endless conversation about how this is really our time to not focus on everything that's bad, but start looking toward the future and how can we come out of this even better than before. Some of the greatest economic expansions in this country have happened after big recessions. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to keep a positive mentality. But first and foremost, especially for us, is just caring. We just want to overly care for our clients. And that extends, Andrew. I think one thing Beth's been doing all day is she's sending out just sort of connection emails with a lot of the vendors that we know, the florist, reception place. She's just connecting and saying, we're with you. We're together in this. We're thinking of you. You're going to be on our referral list. And hopefully that networking can work vice versa. And so that might be something, I guess it might be something to do is we're just trying to connect with both our clients and other people in the industry that maybe one day down the line, something grand can happen from it. So. The world is focused on, especially in the photography world, we want to put out our photos. Well, we need to move toward video. Video is amazing. People love video on Instagram. So one of the things, I guess another tip that I didn't even tell you about that we're doing on our end is I'm using Fundy when I build albums. Then I'm using Fundy Proofer to look through albums. And so all I'm doing, a very simple video I'm making, is I'm doing a screen recording in QuickTime, and I'm just paging through albums that I've made for people, create a 30-second video, put some music over top of it using Animoto or some video, either whether it's iMovie or something. And so I'm making video content just sitting here at my computer doing nothing. And obviously our cell phone is a full TV studio, so you could be speaking to your clients right here. Frankly, I don't go on the phone too much to speak to my clients, but I make promo videos. But you're right. I mean, I think now is the time, if you have nothing to do and no one's calling, now is the time you could really get on the forefront of communicating with current and future clients about who you are and what you're trying to do. So
I'd also like to recommend to everybody out there is don't hurt yourself. So I see a lot of photographers posting every single cancellation that they're getting and every single bad news story on there. And if you're the face of your business, you can't be doing that. You're going to hurt yourself. If all you're doing is posting your cancellations to your public profile, then that's what people are going to identify you with.
Yeah, that's incredibly strange too. I don't get that. I realize it's tough to post happiness in the face of all of this, but I think this is definitely a mindset that we have to overcome, the internal mindset of bringing happiness to our clients. So,
I mean, we have a great community. And if you're hurting and you're getting canceling, call a friend, text a friend. Don't do it publicly.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of cancellations out there. Beth and I focus on a smaller set of clients. We're a little more exclusive with our picking. So if you have 35 to 50 weddings out there and you're really hurting, I would call people who maybe don't take as many weddings. There's going to be a lot of reschedules in the fall. Beth and I were talking, I see a lot of December, January, February weddings where people are going to try and make this up. And so I just think people need to start getting used to having a different life for maybe even the next year, especially when it comes to weddings.
So for people who haven't done IPS, especially maybe through a Zoom like this, so let's say you reach out to a client and they're like, yeah, I want to look at my album. What's the process real quickly so people can go through?
Yeah. So for us, it's just communication. I mean, if you're opening up and want to move toward IPS on your very next client, I would communicate with them what's going to happen. For us, we're going to show you your photos. We're going to show you a very large album using Fundy. We're going to get on a Skype or a Zoom call, and I'm going to show you for example, guys, moving forward, call your next client, tell them they get a free album with their first 30 photos. Congratulations. I'm in a giving mood. Then I build them, like a dear friend of ours, Fundy, Ben Hartley told me many years ago, I build them an enormous album. And so I might build them an album that has 160, 100, or 200 photos in it, and then give them a chance to buy the photos. I remember back in the good old days when I would offer a 70 image album, I would build 70. Build large, put the whole book in there, put all the events in there, and let them say no. You'd be amazed when it's in front of them how often they might say yes. So this is how our wedding practice goes down, is we communicate with them that we're going to build a very large album. Your photos are going to be $35 a photo after your initial investment. And sure enough, we get very large upgrades and incredibly happy clients. That's one thing you can do, is you can start on your very next client. Just let them know, I'm going to build you an album. It's going to have a lot of photos in it. And my clients like cherishing their photos in print form. And sure enough, you keep saying it over and over, that's who you'll start drawing to yourself. So it can be done on the very next session you have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome. And, like we said, there's a great time to retool your business. Look at your album offerings, upgrade. Are you offering wall art to your engagement clients? Going back to, this is one of the few times in life when everybody in a family is going to be home every day.
Yep.
All week. Reach out to past wedding clients if they haven't done a family portrait shoot.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be entering this phase where people are the world is giving us this gift where we can fall in love with each other again, by staying home and spending time.
I never fell out of love with you, Seth.
Well, I mean, look how handsome you are today. Did you run today, by the way? I've been following your running.
I'm going to be running about 4:00 today. Going to do short 6 miles.
Yeah, so we've just been hanging out with the family, and I consider times like this. I mean, maybe I'm spoiled or privileged, but I've also been saving my money for a while. But I mean, I consider times like this, just time to spend with family, reconnect with people. Fundy, I knew you'd love this, but I'm thinking about like just doing like a video series where I reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while, and just now that I have some time, is just send them and let them know how much I love them, I miss them, I've been thinking about them. I just feel like we've been given this amazing gift where the world has just turned us away from all these events we were forcing ourselves to go to. Now we have time to focus on our business. We have time to focus and learn, and practice and Fundy. My clients absolutely love the software, and they love when I'm using it in front of them because I zip around so fast. So like, if you're a shoot and burn photographer, you're not in IPS, take your last 20 sessions, go make albums in Fundy, make wall art, and start sharing that. Even if it doesn't exist in real life, you're allowed to share what your intentions about making album, making sample wall art, and maybe one of your clients is going to call you and order it.
Yeah. So when you're in the wall art module, you can design 5 or 6 rooms, and under the export menu, there's export as wall preview, and that exports with the pretty wall behind it and stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Create 5 or 6 of them and email your clients and be like, hey, I was playing around because I'm home.
Right.
Do you like any of these?
Yeah, for sure. What do you think of this? I mean, it's a great idea. I'm probably even preaching to the choir because I need to do more of these things myself, even reaching out to parents. I mean, when I contemplate how many weddings I've done and how many parents I've talked to and got an album to, it's very, very low percentage. I need to work on that myself. But the people who are out there, we need to let them celebrate their photos, give them a chance to, and sometimes they will. I did that video last fall with help from you, Funny, about getting my mom an album of her wedding photos from 40 years ago. And sure enough, I got flooded with calls about people wanting to do the same thing. I put out a video just for my own sake, how much I was in love with my mom and getting her these photos. And people called and said, I want the same album too. So I'm doing albums to remember grandparents. It's crazy. I mean, doing something will lead to something. So yeah.
And, I think, first of all, thank you. This has been awesome. I also want to point out that just by us chatting for 20 minutes,
sure,
like I'm jazzed now. to go do stuff, right? So
I
reach out to your friends and talk about, hey, what's, start up the conversation. I know everything sucks right now, but what can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I mean, conversations like this get me fired up all the time. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine in Columbus, Rob McCormick, and he's trying to instantly, we have to flip our business style. He's trying to think of new ways to make money, like what are people going to need in the coming months, whether it's a headshot or they're still going to want to sell their house. I just had a buddy who's not even in the wedding industry said, why hasn't someone come up with an idea to live stream someone's wedding that they're now forced to have in their living room? Did someone do that? I was like, boy, that would be hard to get going, but I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a thing. People are going to want to still get married, and staying proactive. And like you said, just having this conversation.
Yeah. And, kind of back up. So one of the things, you probably remember from 2008, but it was even more, I think some of this is kind of similar to 9/11 in that after 9/11, everybody was scared, man. Everybody was holed up. Everybody was walking on eggshells, and time went on, and people got to a point where there was just this pent up anxiety along with pent up consumer dollars. Yeah, people stopped, and there's this moment when the floodgates open back up, right? And so you want to be ready for that. You want to prep.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And your life in line, ready for that moment. And when that floodgates open up, everything's going to open up and be fine.
Yep, this has given you the unique time to, like I said, fire up Fundy and just practice making albums. Get really, really good at making albums. And like I said, when I sit down with clients and fly through, like when I can use your software like it's a video game, I'm just that fast with it, moving stuff around. My clients can hardly get the words out about the wedding spreads or how they want. I can read their thoughts and start moving photos around. Yes, that's exactly what I want. And so when they build together with clients, it entices them to buy and be more happy. So I couldn't say more. Like I said, we are just given this amazing gift. And I can't, I know, call me a fanboy, but my company cannot live without your software. And we've made thousands and thousands of extra dollars per year, tens of thousands of extra dollars per year, and incredibly happy clients. So, I can't thank you enough for having me on. So.
No, thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime, stream into the group anytime you want. So if people want to watch your business podcast or reach out to you, what's the best way to do that?
So Beth and I are just sethandbeth.com. We do have a podcast. Thanks for letting me plug, cheap plug, Andrew, but I appreciate that. Beth and I do have a podcast where we discuss everything photography, life related. It's just on YouTube. And Andrew is going to be a guest on this podcast here in the next month, where we interviewed Fundy for about an hour at WPPI. We were crying.
I have to apologize in advance. There was some bathroom discussions.
Yes, that's right, because you have an amazing toilet. But anyway, we were crying, we were laughing, and so follow our podcast on YouTube. And I guess I'm always here to reach out. We've been I've been a huge business person for a long time, whether it's photography or selling something else. For me, the idea of caring for your clients and you really go far. That's what's really changed our lives, is just overly caring for people. So
yeah, that's awesome. And again, if you're out there and you're experiencing this anxiety, pick up the phone and call a friend, call a fellow photographer.
Yeah, call me.
And talk. Don't just sit there and live in the anxiety, text, social media. Pick up the phone, talk to people, and try to get your positivity back in line.
Yep, I agree, Andrew. I think this is a unique time where if you put in some extra effort, you can really come in on top. I mean, now's the time to really work, and your work will pay off. That's what I've found too. So,
all right. Well, you guys take care. I know, has Beth convinced you yet on the skydiving?
She's talking more about the skydiving, so we're getting
baby.
To come out and go skydiving with you. I see pictures.
Yeah. So if you're watching this live stream, definitely put a comment or two, plug in that Seth needs to go skydiving with me.
Yeah. Especially if they're paying. Start a GoFundMe page.
Peer pressure.
Yes, to go.
No, I got you. I got your. Don't worry about the money. I got your skydiving fee.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's nice to hear. Okay, all right. That'll make me think about it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, my friend. Yes.
Thanks, buddy.
Care for your clients and sell them wall art.
And then tomorrow we have a webinar with Vanessa Joy on more expansive things. She's going to cover a bunch of things in the Fundy suite and marketing. That's going to be great. And then after that, later in the afternoon, we have Michaela Jade coming on, sharing how to make an extra $2,000 per client. So that's the thing. Clients are going to dwindle, so you need to make more money per client to keep your revenues high.
I look up to both of those women very much. They've been pioneers in
they're awesome.
The movement to print images and get it to in your client's hands. So yeah, I love those two.
Okay, you take care, buddy.
Thanks, Andrew. See you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.